I started Julie's Crystals. My name is Jill, and you can follow us on Instagram at Julie's Crystals. All right, so in this little slideshow presentation, I put why I started, how I suggest others to start. Basic crystals is not in this job. How to use crystals, some resources. Oh, the meditation exercise. Okay, that's not in here either. Okay, why I started. I lived in New York most of my life. Winter is probably the most terrible thing, and it does make me very depressed. I love the sun. I love nature, green trees, flowers, butterflies. Well, depression is supposed to be when you're thinking about things in the past. Anxiety is when you're too worried about the future. I'm very sensitive. I have a lot of Scorpio water in my chart. / empathic. I don't know if I'm saying that right. You know, when you can kind of feel how people feel without them telling you. And unconditional love, once I started learning about love and how it should be unconditional, well, I guess crystals are really what mostly led me into love and unconditional love, and how we should always try to give it and always try to receive it. That's not always, as easy for us to do as we might think. Suggestions. Okay, if you want to get into crystals, I personally would suggest you have an open mind, open heart. You're curious about healing. You have a positive outlook, like on your current life, on your situation. Even if it's bad right now, like it's gonna get better. And it's cliche, but knowledge of self. Bang, bang, how I started, intent for praying. And I remember my grandmother taught me how to pray, and at first she was like, you should thank God for all your toes and your fingers and your hands and your arms and your legs and the food you ate. And I was just like, wow, all of it. Once I got back into the crystals and started meditating, I was like, yo, I should also be praying too. You can meditate, you can pray, either or, both. My favorite time is when I first wake up. Honest reflection, ooh, a tough one. For me, it can be easy to criticize others. Sometimes I don't have that same energy towards myself. Daily meditations, I got this on the spirit science video. I used to just lay down with the crystals for each chakra and just lay them on my chakras, meditate for like 15-20 minutes. I did that, I think, every day for like 2-3 months. Using tools. Crystals is good. Sage is good. Palo Santo is good. Incense is good. I was talking about meditation. If you've never tried it before, it can be as short as 5 minutes. It can be as long as an hour. I wouldn't suggest that if you're new. If you're not sure why, say you wake up, you got an extra 5, 10, 15 minutes. You want to have a good day. Do a little meditation. Set your intention to be meditating right now to clear my mind and make sure I have a good day. You miss your meditation in the morning. You went to work. You came back to the crib, and it's just like all this excess energy on you. You say, I want to release all this energy from my day. I would sage first. I release all this energy from my day. Have a nice meditation, enjoy the rest of my evening, have a nice comfortable sleep. And say you had an tremendously amazing day, and you just want to maybe show some gratitude. You want to wrap yourself in your own energy, you feel me? It's not on this list, but a lot of times I put on music. I go to YouTube and just type in meditation music. You can do bird sounds, cricket sounds, running water. They have guided ones. Make sure you're in comfortable clothes. Find a quiet area if you can. You can put on headphones and remove some of the outside sound. Focus your energy on your breath. When you breathe, you're not necessarily puffing out your chest, but it's going into your abdomen. A good way to maintain that focus is to count up and down in your head. So you inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. You can hold it for 2, 3, 4 seconds. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. The holding, I would say, don't try that at first if you've never. Inhale. Exhale. Like that. Oh, mantra. So I have some stay healthy so we can love each other longer. It's not about who is doing better or worse. It's about how well we do as a group. Trust us, we good. You can just Google mantras, honestly. And you can make them relevant to like what you're going through, mantras for this, mantras for that. Okay, so once you get your crystals, you should cleanse them before you really get into using them. So obviously, use your resources wisely, what you do and don't have available. Soaked in salt water for at least 15 minutes. Sometimes I'll do them for like 12 hours. And smudge them with smoke from sage, white sage, Palo Santo. You can do incense. You can leave it in the sunlight or the moonlight. Again, 12 hours whenever you can. Hold in natural running water. So if you're near a river, stream, a beach, you want to kind of maybe observe and feel with your receptive hand what it's like before you do the cleansing, so you know what it's like after the cleansing. You can place it buried in the earth, dig a hole, brown rice, fully covered in brown rice. That was 24 hours, I think. And you can use other crystals. So selenite's a really high vibrational, good crystal it's usually in a good shape. So you have a smaller crystal, you can just set it on there. You can leave it as almost like a base. Selenite doesn't need to be clean. Don't put it in water or it'll disintegrate. Okay, the hands. You have your projective hands. If it doesn't work, flip it around. Projective hand sends out healing vibrations, projects energy. So you program your crystal and you want to see what that program about, you put in your receptive hand. Say you're at a crystal shop, you want to know which crystal might be good for you. Put in your receptive hand, see how I feel. I don't suggest picking up and putting down a whole bunch of crystals because, energy transfers. And yeah, you want to absorb, some unconditional love, some peace. Like I was saying, you're at the crystal store. How do I know which crystal's for me? Once you start looking up into crystals, you probably know, oh, I need that one. And then you go out and find that one. So remember to listen to your intuition, your inner voice, trust yourself. The sooner you start trusting yourself, the better, the easier, the more convenienter. This is one I wouldn't suggest to do a lot or often. You just kind of hover it in front of your third eye, like so. I would be very cautious in letting it actually touch your forehead if you're not sure. Hold it in your receptive hand. Just notice if there's any specific changes in how you're thinking, how you're feeling, and then meditate on it. You feel me? Another good reason to try or practice that meditation. The bodies. So obviously we have our physical body, but crystals work on all the bodies. Anything that's manifested in the physical body has started in the mental body, and then it goes to the emotional body, and then to the etheric body, and then to the physical. So crystals work more swiftly, I would say, on the mental, emotional, and etheric bodies. All physical diseases start from tears in one of these other fields. So crystals can help bring awareness to that tear. So my favorite way to use crystals is to carry them in my pocket. Obviously, they have to be small enough to carry in my pocket. Whereas jewelry, what do I have? This citrine, sometimes I put it in my hair. Place it on your desk at work. This is probably, a lot depending on the job, but you can even place something small like this. Just a little reminder. Hold it in I would mostly say receptive hand so you can receive the energy unless you're doing a programming meditation. You want it in your projective hand. You can place them on your body and you match the color to the chakra. And you just lay it on there. You have 7 basic chakras, regardless of whether or not you know the chakras. This list is making it more easy or convenient for you to understand, changing your vibration. Beginning, I used to have some depression, so that would mean I would want to grab a red crystal. I'm having some fear, I'm gonna grab me a yellow crystal, and it's also good for happiness. So a book I always recommend, probably too much, and I maybe read it 3 times, maybe not 4, but 3 times, but it's just so good. Celestine Prophecy. Stillness Speaks. For the videos, if you're only getting started, I would say start with Infinite Waters and Sadhguru, and a couple dashes of Spirit Science. If you're really in there, get you some Lucid Living and some Jade Bittersweet. Remember to trust your intuition, spending healthy time alone and in nature, and taking your own notes. Like, say you start carrying a crystal, write down some small, subtle changes, write down some big changes. Stay tuned for some basic meditations. I'm gonna get into more so my current crystals that I'm working with, and just some basic start off crystals. And yeah, I hope this helps in some way. I love you.